Hey guys, welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page. Make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe.
Do all the fun things.
Follow
everything. We're here to entertain you guys.
What are you waiting for? Hurry up, let's go.
Enjoy.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm here. I'm Adam Glyn. Nice to see you guys on YouTube. For you guys to hear me if you're listening to it on the podcast. On the other side of the country is my friend who still remains Team Raquel. I don't know how you're still Team Raquel. I don't know.
Why are you trying to get me canceled, bro? Why are you trying so hard?
I don't know if you're just trying to be part of the Vanderpump Rules cast and like say you're part of Team Raquel, and that's how it's gonna like make you good for TV.
The best part is I honestly don't think I would recognize Raquel if she walked past me on the street.
Really?
Like, legit. Yes. Like when I saw her in that like backgrid video of her outside the nail salon, would you have recognized her?
No, I would not. I would have recognized her because she would have called me beforehand and told me she was going to be there. So yeah, I think I would have recognized her. Like, yeah, I was kind of looking there for her. However, if she was walking in New York City, I would not recognize her. In fact, if any of the Vanderpump Rules stars, besides Tom Sandoval and Jax, who's not on the show, walked by me, I don't think I'd recognize them. And Stassi, I don't know. They're just not that like that strong look in a way.
And I think makeup does like such crazy things too. Like you see someone. I was watching the Pam Anderson documentary. Have you watched that on Netflix yet?
Couldn't get through it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still just in the beginning. I haven't finished it, so I'll let you know if I get through it. But how much makeup transforms her too. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot of this interview, sans makeup, like just kind of like in her pajamas, looking like she just rolled out of bed. And I mean, like, good for her for doing it, because I think that's a really tough thing for like a sex symbol to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, here, this is me. This is my natural self. But just how she can look like a completely different person with a glam squad. It's crazy. So I feel the same way with like these Vanderpump Rules girls or anyone else. It's just, you could not recognize them if they walk down the street and they are not wearing their normal makeup.
This is what I say about the Vanderpump Rules stars. And yes, I would say actually more about the Vanderpump Rules stars and actually some of the other like Real Housewives on the Bravo franchises. They're like the new soap opera stars where people go crazy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all nice people. Like, I've met all of Vanderpump Rules stars. They're all very nice. However, I don't think some of them realize, like, yeah, you're a big star in that community. The people that watch Bravo, they love you because you're the star of that show. But if you don't watch Bravo, nobody knows who you are. And, people know who Channing Tatum is, but they've never seen a Channing Tatum movie. So there's a big difference. So you see them, the way they interact with people, they think they're stars, and they are legit stars. They're all very nice, including Raquel, including Sheena, including Tom Sandoval. Like, they're all, from my experiences, they've all been very nice and good to the fans. But there's still like the little bit of the, showbiz. Yeah, I'm a star. Does that make sense?
But we've talked about this before in regards to a lot of these reality stars. Like when their show takes off, like they're the hardest to deal with because suddenly they're getting this like big ego, big head, like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so popular, everyone wants me, I'm supposed to go to club appearances. And you're like, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you walk into the Vanity Fair Oscar after party, no one knows who you are and they don't care who you are. It's just a weird transition. And then the biggest stars in there are the nicest people on the planet because they've been around fans and cameras and media for so long that they really understand how to work a room or work cameras or work a media line. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny.
Did we want to read a review real fast, by the way?
Yeah, sure. Read a review that I'm going to.
We just like started going.
Sorry.
All right, let me read a review real fast, just so we can continue on with our conversation. But give someone their props for stopping by and leaving us one. All right, this one comes from Random Forever, and it says 5 stars, one of my favorite podcasts, found them on Dumois, and I've been obsessed ever since. I listen to a lot of celebrity / entertainment news podcasts, but I love how this one shows the behind the scenes you can't find anywhere else. They have entertainment journalism experience, so they always have the best guests and ask the best questions. Plus, they have great personalities that are so funny. I feel like I'm talking about pop culture with your brothers or best guy friends. The Facebook group is fun too. Keep up the great work, Dax and Adam. From Maria.
Maria,
yes.
Random Forever. Maria, thank you so much. That's super sweet, super nice, and I agree with you. It's just, we're just a crew. We hang. Like it's fun to be in the Facebook group, which is called Off the Record. If you're not in it, I'd suggest joining.
Are we allowed to say who joined our Facebook group this week? Or is that like not cool? Because it's someone who's like super important to us and they joined in, and I feel like if I tell everyone, it's kind of cool. But then like, is that violating some kind of like code by saying they joined the group?
I don't know, but it's so funny, dude. And we'll maybe get into the name, but I've realized like sometimes I break stories within the group, and then all of a sudden it makes news, and I'm like, who's the leak? Who's the one who's the one who's the reporter in our Facebook group?
Oh, I'm sure we have numerous reporters in there. Because what I've found out over the years is we have a lot of reporters that listen to the podcast in general. And we'll be like, we say something, and next thing you know, it's up on, whatever website. But this was probably the first person that joined that I didn't believe it was them. I was like, there's no way. Like, I actually text Adam a picture of the request to get in, and I was like, this can't be her.
So say who it is now at this point.
Heather McDonald.
Yeah, so Heather McDonald. She's a bud. We were on our podcast, and she's cool. She's awesome.
I'm such like a true fan of like what she has become in the podcasting world, and how successful she is, and like how awesome she's been to us. And for her to join our group was like, holy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she does that for just anyone. So I felt really honored, and I hope she doesn't get mad that we just told everyone that she's in our Facebook group now.
Yeah.
Do you think she's gonna get mad?
I don't know. I mean, one of those things where just let it go. Just, hey, guys, act cool.
Act cool.
Going back. So, all right, we just read the one review, but let's just do one review today. Is that cool?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So you were talking. You mentioned two things. One about the celebrities who wear makeup, and then two, the celebrities who about the fame. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I'll say about the celebrities and the fame, there's very few celebrities who I've met who are famous and huge stars, but don't even realize they're famous. And it's like the way they act. One of them is Leah McSweeney from Real Housewives of New York.
Oh, she's dope.
She's so cool. She came on the podcast, but she's just a real person. And I have to respect her for that, because she's just the real deal. She's what you see on the show is what she's like in person. She's just a cool, chill person. And I got to give her a lot of credit that she didn't let the show kind of get to her. And obviously, the followers, the people that reach out, she didn't let it get to her head. The other person.
Wait, can I give her props for one thing?
Yeah.
When Leah came on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, this is awesome.
She was the one that wanted to come on our podcast. We reached out. Well, Adam reached out to her people. They kind of didn't really give us the time of day. But she was like, no, I want to make this happen. I want to be on the podcast. She pushed to come on and be with us, which I really think that's cool, because not everyone would do that.
No, and actually it's kind of screwed up, So what happened was, I reached out to her directly. I was like, Leah, we'd love to have you on. She's like, absolutely. I'm going to press them. And she went to the Bravo team, the Bravo PR. And we noticed, with ABC and Bravo, they do the same stops. They all go on the same things. And, unfortunately for us, we're not on that press list. We're not on that. They're not really the best to us, and it's not, we have a great audience and we do a great podcast, I think. And we tried to kind of hey, listen, we're fans of some of these shows. And when we tried to go through the networks, the right channels to get some of these people to go on the show, they ignore us. They don't even respond to the emails. So when we had Kyle from Summer House, I just hit up Kyle. I was like, Kyle, we'd love to have you on the podcast. And he was like, let me tell. And then he had to force them to kind of, because they're the show's publicists. They're not the celebrity's personal publicist. And there's a weird sort of dance between the two. But yeah, it's weird that like when ABC, like for example, last week, it was they just announced the new couple, the new Bachelor couple. You know, they just ended the season, the guys with the girl. Now they do a whole press tour. They do the same tour every time. They do, Good Morning America. They'll go live with Kelly, and then they do like a press junket at ABC, and then they'll do some other few like.
Well, they have to. They keep it within the family doing all the ABC shows.
But they keep within the family, but then they have a select things that they do else besides the ABC family, which is like hard. It's like, how do you get in that group? And I don't know what it is. It's kind of bullshit because, we have bigger audiences than some of these shows. But yet again, like we trust. I'm like, come on, man, guys, give me a break. But like back to which celebrity is being like so cool is like, I've mentioned many times is Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal is one of those people where he's so down to earth, he's so normal, he's so cool, and like nothing phases him. Like he will never not do anything because he's a celebrity. In fact, he'll even do more because he's a celebrity. I think I might have said, one day I was with Shaq, we're doing a media tour, and he's going around doing media. He's doing like Good Morning America. He did The View. He did like Yahoo. He did a bunch of like press stops in the morning. And then all of a sudden, I feel like the man. I'm being driven around, and I'm in the SUV with them. It's cool. It's kind of cool to be driven around New York City in SUV. Just being an SUV is cool for me. I'm poor.
When I get a text from Adam and it's like him sitting next to Shaq in a car, I'm like, what the hell?
It's so cool. But here's the funniest part is it's lunchtime. And this happened there's 2 times lunchtimes. And all of a sudden it's lunchtime. I'm thinking we're going to Nobu. I'm thinking we're going to Tao. I'm thinking we're going to like Carbone, some fancy lunch spot. Shaq's here. I'm like, all right, Shaq, where are we going for lunch? He's like, let's go to Boston Market. I'm like, what? Boston Market? Are you, dude? You showered today? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And we just walked in, and like, of all places to go, it was there. And then another time we were driving around doing some press, and it was we went to this place called the Smith in New York City. If you're a New York City person, everybody's familiar with the Smith. It's like a solid place to eat, but at lunchtime, the place was full. And I walked in, and Shaq stayed in the car, and I went to the table and was like, hey, we need a table for 6. And they're like, yeah, we don't have that.
And an extra large chair.
Well, here's the funny part. I was like, table for 6. Like, personally, I was like, hey, listen, I got Shaquille O'Neal with me. And the guy's like, okay, whatever. It's like, seriously, I have Shaquille O'Neal with me. Is there any chance you have a table of 6? The guy's like, are you seriously have Shaquille O'Neal with you? I go, absolutely. Shaq like had the window down. The guy kind of saw Shaq. He's like, oh shit. Made a table in the back. Shaq walks through the restaurant, doesn't like hide, doesn't cover his face. Sits down in the back of the restaurant.
You can't hide when you're Shaq, dude. Like, you cover your face. You're like, who's the giant walking through here? He can't go.
No, you can't hide
when you're Shaq.
But you know what? The chef and like a few of the busboys came over, and Shaq took photos with him. Like, he's just great in that sense. It's like he knows he's got to know he's famous, obviously. But like life is different when you're that type of person, when you're that type of star. But he knows how to handle himself. And honestly, I always say it brings like a tear to my eye because it's so like it's like warm. It's nice. It's just so great to see like how much he wants to make someone's day. From taking a photo to like having a fun interaction, just giving them a fist pound makes their day. It's incredible.
Well, he made my nephew's day because you hooked my nephew up big time. So my nephew had his bar mitzvah. God, has it been almost like 2 years now? A year and a half? I can't believe how time has flown. But
maybe a year and a half. Maybe.
He is the most massive Laker fan, and Adam got Shaq to do a little shout out video to my nephew that got played at his bar mitzvah in front of all of his friends, and he lost his mind. He was like, "What?"
Well, not only that,
talk about it to this day.
Not only that, it made news.
Yeah, it did make news. It went. Did TMZ pick that one up?
I think TMZ and some other like networks and like 8 local AB.
Yeah, because he started like singing and like it was awesome doing Hebrew.
He's great.
Stuff. He's so cool.
Now I'm gonna get 30 messages. Hey Adam, do you mind getting a video of Shaq for this?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what's so funny? Like, listen, I mean, I have a relationship with Shaq, a love relationship. We're intimate. No, I have a relationship, but it's crazy how many requests I get from like regarding him a week. And I'm not even bullshitting it. A week, like so many people. I'm like, guys, I'm not his agent. Like, I'm just, like it's insane. And I respect the balls on people, but then I'm like kind of crazed on the balls of people amount of requests I get for like stuff that comes in for him. And if I'm getting them, I can only imagine the people from his inner circle. And one time I was talking to a pretty big celebrity one time, and I said to the person said to me, I'm sorry, said, Adam, you know why I like you? And this just shows you, Dax, I mean, hopefully this understands it, like what these celebrities kind of go through, but what they, when you kind of deal with them. The celebrity said to me, Adam, you know why I like you? And I said, because you never ask me for anything. I said, what do you mean? They go, it's very overwhelming every day. Someone says to me, hey, can I get an autograph? Can I get a photo? Can you put me in a movie? Can you make a donation? Can you get a phone call? Can you do this? Can you do that? And they want to be a good person. They want to do everything for everyone, but obviously they can't. And, I try, at least I don't know how you do when you deal with celebrities. I mean, my thing is I always try to give value, like sometimes it's weird when a celebrity's in a room, obviously there's a lot of eyes on them, but I always try to give value rather than like try to be the hero. Like in a lot of times when you deal with security as a paparazzi, like, security always tries to be like, oh, I'm going to, these are like people at security at a restaurant or some sort of event space. Like, oh, I'm the hero that got the person away from the paparazzi. I'm like, don't be the hero. Just add value. Like just, service them. And maybe if that's what they want, most of the time they're okay with it. It's part of life. It's part of the career, but it's,
what do you mean by service them?
Does that sound dirty?
Yeah.
No, it's just like,
Nick got paparazzi. You get on your knees.
Yeah. I was like, honestly, it's like, get a water. Just figure a way to like, don't let them ask for anything. Like, hey, let me help you out. Like, and it's just what I try to do is just, I don't know, like, and then maybe this is my motivation of the day. It's like, just like, I don't know, just do the job. Like for me, it's just like, I don't know. I just try to take control a little bit of like all right, maybe we should cut this part because I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm just laughing because I'm like, where are we going with all this? I have no idea, but I like it.
Because I
love hearing these stories.
It also, there's one thing I wanted to bring up because we said you're talking about the Pam Anderson documentary, and we're talking about, how much it is to make some of these people up to look great. And I always, a lot of times when we have paparazzi or someone who works a red carpet, we always ask the question, who's the best looking person or female or male that you've seen in person? Do you know, I mean, I always say for me, the best for me
is Miranda
Kerr, Kristen Cavallari, Charlize Theron, Rihanna, Dax. Okay, no, at 30 the mix. Yeah, Rihanna, like when you see them, it's just, they're the best looking person. It's funny, I was just watching Camille Kostek, Rob Gronkowski's girlfriend. She was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover girl. She just did an Instagram story of her on the beach, and I was amazed at how much freckles she has. And when I saw her at the Super Bowl, obviously she had a lot of makeup on. I didn't see any freckles, but when she was on the beach with no makeup on, I was like, man, this girl is all freckled up. Still look cute, but it was just kind of interesting to see.
So funny. I again, and I know it's probably because I'm a guy, but I'm always still amazed how people can transition with makeup. Even with Pam Anderson in that documentary, if she would have just drawn her eyebrows on, how different she would have looked just with eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Or because we talked about this. Who was it recently that didn't have eyebrows? Oh, it was Madonna. Remember when she showed up on stage? I don't know if it was the Grammys or something, and she had bleached out her eyebrows, and so she transformed into yeah, she looked like a completely different person, and how much eyebrows add to a person's face. It's really wild. I don't know.
But what's so funny? Women aren't the only person wearing makeup. A lot of men, men are wearing makeup too. When they're on the red carpet, they're all wearing makeup.
You have to, though. You have to, because there's so many lights. There's all the flash photography. Like, you have to legit wear makeup as a guy on the red carpet. And if you don't, you look weird. Yeah, you look sick. You look unhealthy. And it's so funny because guys feel like awkward and weird, but you put it on. I mean, I've learned how to do my, like, for all like my TV appearances, I've had to learn how to apply makeup and fill in my eyebrows and do this stuff. I think, where were we? We were in Omaha. Remember when I looked at you, I was like, are my eyebrows dripping? Because we had like this whole photo shoot, and so I had like my eyebrows drawn in, and I look at you and we were just sweating, and I'm like, are my eyebrows dripping in my eyes because we're meeting all these fans and taking pictures with people?
Well, that's the part that I wish more male actors were just more vocal about. I mean, obviously the female actresses are very vocal about, Botox and filler, or not just actresses. I'm just saying people in the entertainment industry are very, procedures that they get done. But the men, no one's really been, there hasn't been, as far as I know, a man to come forward of the procedures they've done or do to look good in Hollywood. From, let's just say, the hair replacement stuff to, testosterone, TRT, to getting human growth hormone. I mean, there's a reason.
Have you done any of those?
I am no, I have not. I've considered, because as a man, I may have working at this. I just got my physical last week, by the way. As a man, you start to lose your testosterone over the age of 30. But I know a lot of guys in the health and fitness world that still, they get TRT, testosterone. They get added testosterone into their body. Now, from what I've been told, a lot of people in Hollywood do that. That's like a little bit of the Hollywood, it keeps your strength, it keeps you strong. And I have not done any of them, but I'm still trying to learn about them. Am I ruling them out? Absolutely not, because I work out and I want to stay strong and healthy, but I'm still trying to educate myself on it before I dabble into it, or if I could even afford it.
I tried Botox. I did, God, it was like over a year ago. And it had cool, like, it was cool because it took away like some of the like wrinkles and stuff like that. But I felt like my face looked kind of weird. Like there was certain things that like it just didn't look totally normal. And so once it started to wear off, I was like, oh, okay, this is more of like my look. Like I don't need this. I felt younger for a little bit, but it gave me. I was almost more insecure about the way my face didn't move normally.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I just want to know what Brad Pitt's doing. The guy's almost 60 years old. 60 years old, Brad Pitt. He's almost, and it's incredible how good he looks. So what exactly does he do? What exactly does he eat? What's that life like? Because
I'm sure
like that.
I'm sure a lot of dudes do the Botox and that stuff because it's normal. I feel like more normal these days is for people to do that, and people just don't want to talk about it because they feel weird saying it out loud. And I feel weird saying it out loud, but at the same time, I'm like, might as well just be honest about it.
Is that the headline of the show? Dax, I got Botox.
I got it and couldn't wait for it to wear off.
Yeah, just get out of my system.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen.
Here's the thing is, let me ask you, Dax, though. I mean, obviously, we've both been in the industry for a long time. You've been in it longer than I have.
God,
let's say
old references again. God damn it, Adam.
I'm sorry, buddy. It's all right. But let me ask you this. When you started, I guess you kind of got into the entertainment industry as far as on the journalist side and started covering it in what, 2007?
2005.
2005?
Yeah.
So 2005, you got into it. In 2005, how was the entertainment industry kind of dealing with like news like that? If a woman were to, how would it compare from 2005 to what it is today? If the new entertainment, obviously the media outlets, the blogs, the celebrity stuff would be dealing with a story like this about a woman getting a procedure done from 2005 to what it is today.
I feel like things were just more mean-spirited back then. Like back in 2005, it was a lot more about blogs like Perez Hilton and Pink is the New Blog and all those spots. And I just feel like if you weren't being mean, you weren't getting hits on your website. And so you would look to poke fun at celebs more and like laugh at them. Like I think that's why Paris and Lindsay and Brittany and Kim, like they became so famous because they were punching bags to the world and people liked to make fun of them and liked to ridicule them. And there was like this sense of like the world against them and like everyone to laugh at them, honestly. And then I look at how much that's changed over the years, and it's not fun to just rake these celebrities over the coals and constantly make fun of, at least for me personally, I don't enjoy that. And having been at TMZ, having ran my own website afterwards, having talked on here and having social media, I feel that people will push your stories further if you're kind. And I don't know if that's just an evolution over time, but I feel like people want kinder stories versus just being dicks for no reason.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like when we first started, I mean, I started in 2009, 2010, got into this. And it's funny, when I first started, I met a guy who was a paparazzi in New York. I met him through a friend. And I didn't even believe my friend when he said, "Hey, I got this friend you should meet. He's a paparazzi in New York." I didn't even know that paparazzis even like really existed in New York City. And then I remember I went to New York City that day and found this like community of, I want to say community because this group like this, like of paparazzis. Like, holy shit, I never knew this whole thing existed. I never knew like this is how it went. And I remember when I first started doing the job, I didn't feel like a good guy doing the job. You know, I didn't feel like people embraced me. I didn't feel like a good person ambushing them. But then I realized there was like a dance to it. And I realized, for me at least, and I realized where rather than jump in front of the person, you get in a position where you get, you know, this is what I would do, kind of walk you through it, Dax. Because have you ever been out with a paparazzi before?
Well,
Or seen it go down? Well, yeah. Yeah, I went out to lunch with a paparazzi.
Yeah, I mean, listen, working at TMZ, of course.
You saw the videos, but did you ever go out with one?
No. Like, I didn't go and like go on a ride, but what I was going to say is where our building was in Hollywood was this big shopping center. And a lot of celebs, like I remember one day, Nicole Richie came to eat lunch at the CPK there, and it was tons of paparazzi, and one of our guys went down there. And so I got to watch it firsthand, but I never went for like a car ride for a day to like see what it was, a ride along. I didn't do that.
No, it's actually kind of cool. Like in some ways, and I say cool because I think about it, I'm so used to it, but I'm now putting myself in your shoes or someone else, one of our viewers at home who's like kind of curious or interested in like how it works. And sometimes I'm jaded because I do it. This is what I do every day, but I didn't realize how insane it is to go down because it is like a movie. It is like a TV show. It's kind of unique. It's sort of surreal. And I say, like, people are like, how do you do what you do? Actually, it's funny. I was out for drinks the other night with someone, and they're like, do you get nervous? Like, what do you know? And I'm like, I don't get, it's a lot of adrenaline more, you know? Sometimes I get nervous because there's a lot going on, a big shot, and I want to make sure I get them because I put in the time or I know what, you know, how much is at stake. Like, for example, last week I got Conor McGregor, UFC star, you know, one of the biggest stars in the world as far as athletes, one of the highest paid athletes in the world. And I knew if I get him to talk, I will make decent money on it. But if he doesn't, I'm making nothing on it. Fortunately, I got him to talk and we had a great conversation. He's actually a really cool guy and I was able to monetize it and make money on it. So that was great. But for me, what I do is if I see a celebrity walking down the street, I will make sure I kind of run ahead, but not like let them see me. I kind of get into a rhythm where I don't want to draw a crowd because I don't want to bring too much attention. But I'll kind of get in a position where I'm maybe about 60, 90, sometimes feet ahead of them. So I'm in a good position, make sure I have the camera rolling and have them walk towards the camera. And I let them see me. I don't hide, like, so they know I'm there, you know? And, you know, you kind of know what the deal is because as soon as they see you, if they cross the street, you know, obviously they're trying to avoid you. Like, all right, I don't want to see this guy. If they walk towards me, maybe they might embrace me. And sometimes it's like a middle ground where we're both going to be like, okay, I'm going to get a minute, and then you're going to go on your way. I'm going to go on mine. And that's it. Like, we're going to make it a very clean, quick, easy thing, you know, and just get it over with. Majority of the people are actually really cool with it. Some people are not, which I respect. But it's funny, years ago, I mean, that was, 2010, that was the thing. People expected it to be like crazy. Like, I think that's the celebrities had to like, even with the paparazzi, I think it was more like, use the word antagonize in some way. Would you say that?
Yeah, no, I think they were trying to piss off. Again, it goes back to being mean to celebs, but also pushing them so that they would erupt so that you could then talk shit on them after they made a fool of themselves.
Yeah, like remember those shots you'd always see videos of the paparazzi with like the camera on the window or like blocking the car from leaving? I've never seen that happen in New York, except actually I've seen it happen with fans, but I've never seen that happen with paparazzi.
It's not what people like. I think paparazzi have realized that that's not what sells. Again, it's not the getting someone to flip off the camera that sells anymore. That used to sell because people like to see celebs getting mad. And now it's like, oh, this great shot of them or them being super cool or talking to the paparazzi or, you know, just having a great conversation goes a lot further these days. And I think that's where the big evolution. And also on that point, you know, photographers used to kind of go to any length to get a shot. You know, I saw when I was looking through paparazzi websites, I would see some crazy, creepy shit back in the day, like shot into the backyards of people's houses or helicopter shots where it's looking back in their backyard while they're swimming in their pools, like things that are just inappropriate, but it doesn't happen today anymore because people know that that's not going to sell. That's intrusive.
So but you know what? You could put that on a blog and someone would actually use the photo now. Let's be honest. Like if there's some sort of photo, however, is there a legality thing to it? Like is there, you know better than I.
That's you can't photograph like into someone's home. Like if they're standing in a window, you can't shoot that. But people have tried to get away with that kind of crap over the years. I remember, I think it was Halle Berry. It was either Halle Berry or Selma Hayek went after someone, after a paparazzi who literally like stood over their wall and shot photos into their backyard.
That's insane.
And think about how much it's also changed with photographing of celebrity children.
Yes, the children.
That used to be like, just go for it. And then I think over the years with a lot of the media outlets kind of agreeing that, yes, we shouldn't be showing kids' faces. Now you have the paparazzi kind of falling in line too and not photographing unless it's someone like Kim Kardashian who put their children on television and now their children are also celebrities in their own rights. I think that kind of gives the pass to, okay, you can photograph those children, but not someone who hides their kids away. Like you've said before, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds or Halle Berry or what's her name? Jen Gardner.
Dax Holt, Kristen Bell, like those type of people.
Dax Holt.
I'm sorry, Dax Shepard.
You know how many people congratulate me whenever she's pregnant or they have a kid or do something big, like, hey, congrats on your new baby. I'm like, yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, new projects in the works. Exactly. Exactly. But it's so people always ask me, like, there's not as many paparazzi as there once was. Especially I know, like, a lot of
the
people,
industry's kind of died a lot, don't you think?
It's died because it's not the paparazzi that died. It was just the magazines, the outlets have died. Where when's the last time someone went out and bought a magazine? People just don't buy magazines anymore. It's more of like on the web and stuff like that. So there's not enough money for them. There's just unfortunately there's just not enough money for paparazzi. So they had to find other work or other jobs. But yeah, the media outlets, like, they're hurting. I mean, you can say what you want about a lot of these magazines, but they're not doing well. They're more of like, they make their money from being a brand name rather than, people buying the magazines. And it's funny, like, if you look through a magazine
it's a digital magazine at this point.
It's a digital magazine, but a lot of times, like, they take photos from Instagram, because if you upload a photo to Instagram, they are able to use that photo in their print or wherever they want to use it. They just have to credit Instagram, because Instagram, Dex, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you put a photo on Instagram, Instagram owns the photo somewhat.
That is accurate.
Okay, so Instagram owns the photo. So then, let's just say Us Weekly, for example, can take that photo and use it. Now, with that said, there's very few photos that make them an outlet anymore.
So yes and no, because you can still get in trouble. Like, if it is a professional photographer who has uploaded a photo, or a celeb has uploaded a professional photographer onto their Instagram, even though there is this weird, like, Instagram owns it, the photographer will go after a website and be like, no, this is how I make my living. You can't just rip off photos from Instagram and call it Instagram. But yes, once Instagram came around, it made it a lot easier for the outlets to post photos up there because they feel like, oh, you're a celeb, you're in the public eye, you're not going to come after us. We'll use your photos.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's kind of wild. And the paparazzi, people always ask me, like, what do paparazzi look for? And paparazzi, at least, they look for news stories and they look for fashion. Like if you get a photo, let's just say, of Jeremy Piven walking down the street, sometimes it's not even worth the edit. Like they might shoot it, they might not even upload it, because again, they're not going to make a dime on that photo. It costs them time because they have to upload the photo and they have to kind of fix it up sometimes, and clean up the photo. But like the photos that really sell, it's fashion or news story. Like that video of Emily Ratajkowski making out with Harry Styles. I don't know if that was paparazzi or that was a fan who got that. I think it was a fan who just maybe, I don't know. It was a weird, it was.
And by fan, do you mean Emily's friend that's inside of her camp that filmed it and then put it out to the world on Emily's behalf?
You got it. You got it. Okay,
let's be realistic. I have never seen someone, how do I say this, as not famous as Emily is. Like, she's famous, right? Like, I get it. She's famous, but she's not as famous as she has paparazzi trailing everything she does. Okay. But we have seen her make out with the DJ. We've seen her with what's his name? What's the comedian that we just talked about that was naked on her couch? Eric Andre. There's stories about her and Brad Pitt. I mean, it's like every person she dates, a new news story breaks. I'm sorry, she is not to the level of someone that is getting this much attention. There has to be an inside person within her camp that is strategically putting out all this information for us to continuously talk about her. And for her to be in Tokyo or wherever the hell they were making out, this is an inside job, in my opinion.
I agree. I think it's definitely an inside job. She's almost like the female Pete Davidson, where she's trying to hook up with like the best looking guys, from Harry Styles to Brad Pitt. And then you throw in Eric Andre, but he's still like a very cool guy, he's very unique, and kind of makes her grounded and gave like guys who are like, not the Brad Pitts of the world a shot, like makes them feel like they could get with Emily Ratajkowski. But it's gotta come. And I say this because I don't know for a fact. I don't know any sources connected to it. But it's got to come within. It's got to. I don't think it's from Harry Styles. I don't think it's from Harry Styles' team. It had to come from within. Yeah, and it's very vague too, because we don't know too many details.
That every person she dates makes it out to the public. Like, she's just not that famous.
You want to hear something? It's talking about famous Emily Ratajkowski. There's a story that's brewing.
Okay.
And it's kind of a crazy story, and I'm not going to get very into it too much because I'm not a blind item guy, but also, and I don't want to ruin the story for someone else who's working on it. But Emily Ratajkowski's husband, obviously Emily's hooking up with famous people. Right.
So
now.
Is he ex or estranged? Are they officially divorced?
I don't know if they're officially divorced yet, but they're definitely, I don't think they're getting back together, but of course, as far as we know, they're not. They're definitely, I guess, estranged at the moment. I don't know if it's official divorce, but he hooked up with a celebrity. I wouldn't say a celebrity, but someone who's a notable person.
Did she put out that story too?
With him. No, the story actually. You know what? I don't know. But it's a wild situation, and the person. I don't know. I you know what? I can't even get into it that much.
Can you give me a little more detail? Because these like blind items that aren't even close to a blind item because they have no detail are really hard.
I know. You're right.
Is this like a model? Is this an actress?
I get it. I'm an asshole. I can't even get into anything more than that.
Why not?
Because it's not my story, and I think it's becoming more of a legal thing, where it's not, the people are like, listen, you do this story, it's going to be really, really bad, and it's becoming and it's very, very big people, and when I mean big, it doesn't mean necessarily celebrity, but it could. But I'll let you just. I know I'm an asshole, guys. You're like, just tell us. I'm like, I can't. I honestly, I can't, because I'm afraid that they would come after me. They're talking about a lot of money. But the thing is,
and that's stuff we can't lose right now.
guys, you're looking at me, okay? This is all I have is what you're seeing. You're going to take everything I have right now. Oh, you heard the episode where I start going crazy at stuff Dax got from the Ellen episode. Like, yeah, I don't have a lot, guys.
Oh,
struggling over here.
Oh, so good.
Everyone's like,
anyway.
go Patreon. I'm like, no, but I'm not going to do it for you guys.
No, you know what I was thinking, back to just like the whole like conversation about being mean to celebrities. I fell into that trap too myself, though. Like when TMZ first started, I thought that that's what people wanted because that's what I saw everywhere. I mean, literally the first thing I said on TMZ day one of airing is Chris Angel's a douchebag. That was my first fucking sentence. Like, that's embarrassing to say that was my first thing I said. I mean, Chris Angel is a douchebag, but having said it, I felt bad looking back, but I, at the beginning, was purposely being rude to celebs because there was a big, like, you got a lot of feedback from it. And I remember when Kim Kardashian came into the office, Harvey introducing me as like, oh, this is Dax. This is like the mean guy. Like, that sucks, man. To think that was the first time I met Kim was under the pretense of I'm the mean reporter.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed my outlook a lot. Like that interaction with Kim Kardashian changed a lot of the trajectory of my career because I was like, I don't want to be known as the mean guy. And I don't want that stigma to be attached because I'm not a mean person. I was doing it because I thought that's what people wanted. But and so from that day forward, I became much more like the nice guy in the room and was more myself versus this like role I was kind of playing because I never wanted to be introduced to anyone ever again as the mean guy. Like that just killed me inside.
No, I get it. And it's funny because you're in the newsroom, so you never had to deal with the celebrities. I was on the streets, so I had to deal with these celebrities and they would go off on me, and I forget times or names to be specific, but I remember being uncomfortable because I would get shit from a celebrity because of what you guys, meaning the staff, or what the website said about the celebrity. And I was one who had to deal with them. And I didn't like being the bad guy. And I was always pro celebrity. I was like, dude, I'm almost like, fuck them, dude. And and that's what actually changed. Something kind of struck with me about a year and a half into the job, where it's like, I'm going to use this as a platform and kind of take advantage of the moment and make it more about me than the celebrity. And I always made it jokes about myself and brought the celebrity involved, or just try to make fun interactions with the celebrity, which kind of changed my career, but also, in my opinion, in some ways, and it's maybe me, this might sound like me being narcissistic in a way, but like changed the perception of what paparazzi was. Yeah. And that's why I call myself a street journalist, because, I think when you say someone's a paparazzi, there's a stigma, there's a stereotype that goes along with it. But I was like, I'm going to make my own title because I don't feel like what I do is necessarily paparazzi. Now, is there aspects of it? Absolutely. But I don't know. I try to go in it with a charm because I don't want to be a dick. But yet again, it's like I got to eat too, because this is all I could do before, 2 more weeks, I'll probably be working at Chipotle. So nothing wrong working at Chipotle. I'm just trying to avoid it.
Dude, their fajita burritos, sign me up. I will come visit you at work every day.
Yeah, but dude, I'm still charging you for guac, Dax. I don't care. I'm not losing this job. I'm not losing this job. But it's like, I remember, like, it was felt weird. And I kept trying to explain that to meetings, like, guys, you don't understand, like, I'm dealing with celebrity, not you. It's easy for you guys to talk shit, but I can't do that because I'm taking the punches for you, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be around the celebrities, around them during this. And that's when I started, like, you know what, I'm going to start making it about me and sort of like having like these different fun interactions and not ask them, because I'm not, I don't care about some random celebrity's opinion about a Kim and Kanye type thing, like, who cares? I would just make it more fun and stupid conversations, which gradually just made into fun interactions. And to me, I was always trying for fun and funny. rather than like tabloidy or like headline, because a lot of times the celebrity's like, why do you bring me into this shit? I have nothing to do with it. Don't ask me about that stuff. And then all of a
because
sudden
then
it
you put
becomes a
them into a
headline.
weird predicament of like commenting on something. They may have no connection to the person. Like I get it if it's, you're asking Jonathan Cheban about Kim and Kanye. Like that makes sense. But if it's Brad Pitt who has no connection to either one of them, it's like, why?
Well, I mean, I would sometimes get in trouble because like, why didn't you ask about this? Why didn't you ask about that? I'm like, because they have nothing to do with it. And plus also, it's very hard to explain to someone how my job works when you've never done it, when you've never even seen it. And also, as you know, and I think some other people could agree, it's not that easy. You don't know who's going to come out the door. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get pushed or shoved because there's a bunch of paparazzi with you. You don't know if there's some crazy guy on the street going to hit you, and it's happened before. You don't know if
know who you're going to be servicing that day.
Yeah. You don't know who you're going to be servicing. You piece of shit. It's just you can't really. It's easy to be what do they call it? The armchair quarterbacks. Is that what they call it?
I think so. That sounds right.
Sounds about right. And tell you, oh, you should have done this. Like, dude, trust me. Every video I post, like, oh, this guy's stupid. He asks the worst questions, or he could. I'm like, try what I'm doing, dude. Try it. Try to get close to them, and deal with everything that could go. What happens? It's not easy, but yet again, that's what makes it fun for me. It's like the exciting part. Like, I don't know. I get bored if you're on a red carpet and they walk up and it's all nice. It's just more fun on the street.
100%. Now, did I ever tell you about a similar interaction I had with Bonnie Hunt?
Bonnie Hunt, that's a random name, but yeah.
I know, right? So going down the same path of the beginning of TMZ and right around this like Kim Kardashian time, like TMZ's blowing up, we've become like the new cool kids on the block. Everyone's watching the show. Everyone's talking about us. I ended up one of our producers back in the day, Jim. He was also the executive producer of the Bonnie Hunt show, because remember she did like a daily talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Jim also had started up Ellen. He did the Rosie show, but he was also an exec producer on TMZ. And ended up he invited me to go over and watch a taping of Bonnie Hunt. And so we went over there, watched the taping, and then got to go backstage afterwards, hang out in her dressing room, meet her, the whole thing. And we started getting onto TMZ and how well it was doing and all of this kind of stuff. And, she started giving me pointers. And one of the things she said is like, don't be mean. Like, that's the key. Don't be mean. Be funny. You can be funny without being mean. And that also was like a big thing for me. So between like Kim and Bonnie Hunt, it was like, it was like this like light bulb went off in my head of I need to change the way I'm doing stuff. And it really worked out, because that was obviously like year one, but I was on the show for a decade. And when I felt like I left the show having a very good persona around me of that I was kind, I was nice in a room that could be very harsh on people.
Do you find it hard to balance the line between being mean and also being honest?
I think there's a difference between someone just saying something to be a shitty person and having an honest answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you can say stuff and without just saying it to be rude. And I think that's one thing that we do on this podcast is people like our honesty, and we're not just bagging on celebs just because we want to.
Yeah, I hope people don't find this podcast to be mean, because that's not mine or your intention for it to be mean. Like I've talked about some experience with celebrities where they're sort of a dick, and that's just my experience. Some other person might have a great experience with them and thought they're the coolest, nicest person in the world. But I just know from my experiences that person was sort of not that great to me. But majority of them are very cool.
I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have an honest opinion, rather than like just say, oh, I saw so-and-so and they look like shit and they act like shit, like there's a difference.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's
That was a
thank you guys for
really
listening.
random episode, but I liked it. I had fun.
Yeah. Oh, this is definitely random, but thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Follow
Join
us
our
on
Facebook
TikTok.
group.
Yeah, Facebook
Now
Off
that
the Record.
and be cool, guys. Be cool when you see Heather in there. Be cool.
Yeah, definitely be cool. I got a prescription ready that I got to go pick up. I just got the text message. Finally, I just forgot about it. Thank you for the reminder.
And please take the time, go leave us a review. It means the world to us. So if you can go to iTunes, apparently on Spotify, you can leave like a 5-star rating. It's the comment that you can't really do, or sometimes it asks you if you like the episode and you can respond, but I don't really know how to see the response. I'm working on that. But on iTunes is really where I'm pulling a lot of these reviews from. So if you can go to iTunes, go down to the bottom of the page, leave us a 5-star review, leave us a comment. Please leave your name so I don't have to just read your screen name because sometimes that's random. But
we'll make sure you get the shout out.
Exactly. So I can give you the shout out with your name and just say thank you for taking the time. What else do we have to say?
Praise Allah. Happy I don't know.
Oh, get out of
You have
here.
to say praise Allah. And we'll see you guys next week.
Ridiculous.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.